right, let's talk about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Let's see if I can do justice to this film. The film is basically the fictionalized version of Operation Postmaster from World War II. It's basically the origins of special forces, of the Mission Impossible Force, if you will, where a group of ne'er-do-wells will go in and do a job for the sake of Britain, for its future. But if they're caught by either the British or the Germans, the State Department will disavow any knowledge of them. Stars Henry Cavill as Gus March Phillips, Eliza Gonzalez as Margie Stewart, Alan Ritchson, Henry Golding. The cast goes on and on. The whole idea here is that Britain is on the verge of surrender when it comes to the Germans. The Germans have U-boats that have been sinking supplies coming from America. The United States refuses to enter the war because it feels that England is lost. So they need one big victory in order to assure America's involvement in World War II. So they decide that they're going to cripple the U-boat fleet. There's fuel, supplies, everything U-boats need in a small port in Africa. And if they can destroy the supply ship, the U-boats will be rendered useless, and the Americans can enter the war and hopefully defeat Hitler. So this is basically a movie of that mission to sink this supply ship, and it's headed by Henry Cavill with a bunch of men who like killing people. Dante, what did you think of the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare?
I'm a little mixed on it. There were parts of it I really dug. I got to be honest with you, man. I think, look, Henry Cavill and Alan Richardson definitely carried a certain part of the film for me, for sure. But honestly, I was more intrigued with Eliza Gonzalez, like in her storyline. Like I felt like that was the more intriguing story, was her and the black guy and the espionage stuff that they were doing. I can't remember his name for some reason.
Yeah, it was Mr. Heron.
He was in Dune. He's been in a bunch of other movies, but I can never remember his name. But I just felt like their story was the better story, and all the stuff with Henry Cavill and Alan Richardson and all those guys, it was okay, but it didn't draw me enough. You're right. I feel like the film kind of fell apart in the third act for me a little bit. Like the buildup was good, and then it kind of started weakening as it went on. But I thought the stuff with Eliza was good all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it helps to make her sexy.
I just think like her and Melissa Barrera, I feel like in two Latina actresses, man. I felt like they carried these films. Like both of these films I saw yesterday were from these two women, and that's saying something, man. When you got an all-star cast like Ungentlemanly Warfare, I mean, like it says a lot.
Yeah, when it comes to this movie, I kind of like, part of me wants to watch a World War II, drama and a military operation, but at the same time, I think I think this is just a Guy Ritchie movie under the guise of a World War II operation,
which isn't normally bad, man. I love Guy Ritchie, man. I think he's real. Unfortunately, he's become very hit or miss. For every snatch, you have a King Arthur, right? Yeah. So.
It's that last one. That last one he did with Jason Statham and Aubrey Plaza was just horrible. It felt like it was Guy Ritchie's attempt to make a Guy Ritchie movie. And
he's become a character of himself.
Yeah, he is. But the thing, like Zack Snyder, there's a definite look and feel to a Guy Ritchie movie, and this has that feel to it all. And I think it's supported by a much better story than you see from a Guy Ritchie movie. But this is still definitely a Guy Ritchie movie, where the heroes have this swagger, this cool swagger as they're murdering people. 5 people up against 200 people, and none of the 5 dies. That's the Guy Ritchie swagger to this all. How is Henry Cavill and Alan Ritchson going to go through and murder all these people and look good doing it?
And I love the fact that Alan Richardson was a psychopath, man.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's gotten into some heat lately because of some things he said about, cops or, politics, whatever. But Alan Richardson was really good in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And, okay. And again, this is a Guy Ritchie movie, which means there's going to be race and gender swaps, mostly race swaps in this. Henry Goulding plays Freddy Alvarez. Not sure how you make that connection, but look, there you go. There's the casting. Isa Gonzalez plays Marjorie Stewart, who is part Jew.
Right.
That's she looked good, and so that's where you just have to sit there and go, look, this is not a World War II, a reenactment of a World War II operation.
Right.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
And let's be fair about the race swap with her though, because like she has the caliber to pull off that role though. You know what I mean? Like, I loved her in Baby Driver. I loved her in Three Body Problem. I think she has a huge future in this business, but she had something on screen, man, that made me want to just keep watching.
Yeah,
like she kept me in that movie.
Yeah, and even though through most of the movie she's covered up, at the end she's Cleopatra and looks amazing. There we go. We're sexualizing women already.
No. I'm not even talking about just her looks. I mean, like her performance, man, was like top notch.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what Black Widow is. She's using her feminine wiles, her intelligence, to get information to manipulate the antagonist, the evil. What's his name? Why can't I find the name here? The evil Nazi. And that's the thing you mentioned before, but there are two parallel stories going on here. There's the brute force of Henry Cavill and Alan Richardson and his team, with the guns, the knives, the explosives, and then you kind of have the manipulative diplomacy going on with Isa Gonzalez, to kind of to kind of get into the mind of the Nazi, the bad Nazi. And I wish I knew his name.
I think Til Schweiger is his name.
He was in
he was in Inglourious Bastards too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, and of course, again, you can kill hundreds of Nazis without feeling guilty from an audience standpoint. So this is the perfect story for mass murder.
Yeah, you can chop them up with axes and
yeah, exactly.
Cut their hearts out, and
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a Guy Ritchie movie. I think it's a really good Guy Ritchie movie, and I would recommend it on those grounds.
I also like the nod that he put like Ian Fleming in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, okay, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, and to kind of, I think I appreciate. I'm looking up the original. Was it Operation Postmaster? I'm looking up what it actually was, and okay, we're here for the fun. We're not here for history. And then the only sticking point is at the end where they kind of go through the what happened to each of the characters in real life.
Yeah,
and they're throwing out all these letters and acronyms and stuff, and I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm sure they all did well going out of it. So
you know what? The thing I didn't like about that at the end was I wish they would have just put their character next to the real life person so that we knew who they were talking about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, which character was that? Which character was that? Like, I wasn't sure who the character was, compared to their real life counterpart. So,
yeah. And my point is, it's a Guy Ritchie movie, and it doesn't matter.
I agree. No, I totally agree. And look, there's certain things you expect from a Guy Ritchie film,
mm-hmm.
man. The thing you expect most of all is cool. Yeah. Right? You look at Snatch. That's just a movie about cool people doing cool shit.
Yeah, and that's and this also leans into that British stereotype of everyone's so sophisticated, even if they're scoundrels.
Yeah,
they're sophisticated, and so nothing phases them. They'll walk by an exploding building and nothing. Not even flinch.
And I love like the little quirks, like Henry Cavill's character and his thing with coats. Yeah. And taking coats from his enemies, like that whole thing. There were things I really loved about this movie. Like I said, the third act gets a little weaker, but it's still fun. It's still a Guy Ritchie movie. So you'll definitely enjoy parts of it for sure, right?
Yeah. I think I like the third act a lot better than you did. It was the action that I wish was kind of going through the whole thing. It starts off with some action, then there's this great span of diplomacy that occurs in the middle. It's like Monkey Man. The middle of the movie kind of is about setting the chess pieces up, and then you get to that third act, which of course things don't go according to plan, and kind of figure out how to get out of it. All right. So final verdict. Is Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare recommend?
Yes, I would definitely recommend it. It's a fun movie, man. Go with a group of people. You're definitely going to laugh. The story is there. The story is there. And just remember, you're going into a Guy Ritchie movie. Okay, so like there's certain expectations you should walk in with, and nothing should really surprise you with this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a lot of fun. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. That's what you're getting into. Don't think you're going to get anything other than that.
Yeah, this isn't a history film. This isn't like, based, well, very loosely based on a true story.
Yeah. It also comes from Lionsgate, so I'm kind of impressed by what they got for the budget. I can't imagine this film costing more than like $75 million to 100, and they did a great job making this movie look like a big blockbuster film.
Right. I mean, because the biggest star in the film is Cavill, and they probably didn't get him for that much. So, which is a shame to me, because I think that guy should be like the highest paid actor in Hollywood. But but they didn't. They probably didn't get him for that much.
Yeah, and look, again, it's Lionsgate, and Lionsgate is good about knowing the potential of their movies, about how much it's going to make. I mean, John Wick 4, as great as it was, only made $100 million. And I'm sure they knew that going in, and they budgeted accordingly. And I have to believe they did it with this movie as well. Again, I it's not going to be the big studios that are going to make money this year. It's going to be those mid-range studios like Lionsgate and A24.
A24 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have a good grasp of making movies and making money making movies.
And they know how to budget.
Yeah.
They know how to budget their films.
Yeah. I mean, let's remember, Lionsgate made Plane. All right.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah. Well, they knew what they were getting into with Plane, and I'm pretty sure the budget reflected that.